If you've been following Rocket League for, well, at all really, then there's probably a name that you've heard thrown around a few times. Turbopolsa. Now, who is this mysterious man that doesn't know how to correctly order a McDonald's wrap?
Oh, can't wait to eat my wrap from McDonald's.
Who needs to know how to order a wrap when you're this good at Rocket League? His story begins in Season 3 of the RLCS. Northern Gaming have made it to LAN, but there's a problem. One of their players, Maestro, can't participate, so they have to bring in their substitute, a little Swedish boy. Probably down in the dumps about not having their dedicated roster, you can hardly imagine they expected what they would go on to accomplish and the dynasty that would spawn from this single event. First match versus Just a Minute Gaming, Northern Gaming sweep.
Northern Gaming take it in a sweep!
Northern Gaming looking so very strong. We brought them in as the unknown. How was Turbopolsa gonna perform? And all those questions seem to be answered.
Second match versus NRG and a familiar face. Northern Gaming gets swept.
Trying to push it out of the play of Remco. It's all up to him, but Jacob will fake him out again. It'll touch NRG, sweeping Northern Gaming. They'll move on to the upper bracket. And as you said, though, Northern Gaming staying calm and collected. This European dynasty here who's having to play with the sub. They are in flux right now. We don't know what they're going to do, how they're going to perform. And going up against NRG was quite the difficult feat here. NRG able to pull off the win, but we will see more of Northern Gaming later.
They drop down into the lower bracket and have to fight their way from there. They make their way through Lethamyr and Denial Esports.
Finally figured out the weakness of Denial is that they didn't trust each other on defense. Will we see one more? No, it will get blocked away. The moment this touches, that will be it. Denial Esports, they are done here. They have been eliminated.
Northern Gaming playing like a team that's been here before, and they have such a storied history here at the LAN. They have finished third every time. They are still on the path to pull it off a third season in a row.
You know, people were talking about in scrims that Turbo was really, playing out of his mind, and he's showing it right now. I think he was atop of the leaderboard most of those games. He's really showing Northern Gaming that he's not just a sub.
He scored at least 6 goals in this series. So much performance here from Turbopolsa, but he is shining in a way he never shown in Season 1 or Season 2 here on the Season 3 LAN stage.
Through Sizz and Rogue.
Attack, Turtle to intercept that one. In front of the net, scariest spot, a shot! Fire going, Rogue is going home. Northern Gaming will move on to the bracket, trying to beat that third place curse that they've had with a full 3-0 sweep.
But Northern Gaming was just too much, able to suffocate this Rogue squad.
Turbopolsa proving to be one of the best, and I'm sorry I'm sorry, Turbo, you called me on Twitter, but you are, I guess, officially the best sub in RLCS right now.
He's proven it, man.
Through the leftovers.
Turbo is starting to play a little bit more timid. His touch is not as strong, but luckily for him, these two other players are doing a fantastic job. As the ball in front of the net, Remco does it! Oh my goodness, I cannot believe they were to pull this out.
And Northern Gaming gonna knock out the leftovers in spectacular fashion. Northern Gaming, once again, find themselves in a top 3 spot in the RLCS World Championship.
This Northern Gaming team is ready to play.
They're scary.
Through NRG, the team that swept them earlier on in the upper bracket.
10 seconds remaining, and Northern Gaming could be about to break the streak. They are no longer the bronze medalists. They are going to the grand finals.
Northern Gaming able to finally break their curse. They're moving on to the grand finals to face Maka Esports. I cannot believe this for Northern Gaming. They're looking so strong.
We had so many questions. I remember when we had our casting meeting, we said, what's with Northern Gaming? And we just put a big question mark on them because we did not know what they would look like with Turbopolsa.
Northern Gaming is looking absolutely dominant. For them to win 10 out of their last 11 matches, they're on an absolute tear. I am afraid for anybody who looks to get in their path.
Now they're in the grand finals against Maka Esports, led by KDOP and Fairy Peak. This is no easy task. Not only do they have to take on Mystic, KDOP, and Fairy Peak, but since they came from the lower bracket, they have to beat them twice in 2 best-of-7s, and they do.
This so desperately to get out of their half. Fairy Peak gets it over the top, but there's Remco shutting it down. The final countdown of the final game of the World Series here. Devo to try and put it through, cannot make contact. Remco to shut it down. Will it touch? Fairy Peak carries it high. 1 goal can still tie the game, but Devo will let it touch. And Northern Gaming has done it when they could not for the last 2 seasons. The world champion here in Los Angeles. Third place. place 2 seasons in a row. And without their star maestro, they come through with Turbo and win what nobody else could. Defending Europe, it is Northern Gaming's year, the dynasty in flux. We didn't know if they could do it with Turbo, and they did that and more. They made it all the way here to the finals. And look at these champions, ladies and gentlemen.
Northern Gaming take RLCS Season 3 by storm with their sub, that little Swedish boy. Can you imagine how ecstatic he is? Everyone expecting nothing out of him, and he gave them everything. But this is only where it begins. Season 4 comes around, and Turbo has found himself a new home on Gale Force Esports, alongside none other than K-Dop and Violent Panda. Gale Force take on all of Europe as they push their way through regionals and take first, becoming Europe's regional champions.
That could very well do it. Gale Force are going to avenge both of their losses to PSG and Method and crown themselves European champions.
After starting off the season being called the best team in the world, struggling a little bit during league play, they showcase it here at the very end, crowning themselves European champions. Turbopolsa still got nothing but wins. He's got the Season 3 World Champion title, and now he's trying to gun for Season 4 as well.
They go on to dominate the Season 4 World Championship, making their way through the upper bracket, taking on G2 Esports.
And they will also protect their spot in the upper bracket. Kronovi, for the first time in his career, will lose on the RLCS stage. Congratulations to Gale Force Esports.
Wow, what a series.
I'm over here with Turbopolsa. Guys, give it up for Gale Force Esports. Your team is amazing coming into this event. Were you feeling good and confident coming into this matchup against G2?
Yeah, I feel really, really good coming to this game. G2 is nothing without J-Naps, and he wasn't doing really well.
Ooh, spicy. Do you think that this is going to be that second championship win for you?
I hope so. I'm definitely going to smash Ghost, that's for sure.
All right, okay, you know what? It's getting a little hot over here.
Ghost Gaming.
Violent Panda puts it up high, K-Dop looking to secure Classic, gets it away, but Turbopolsa over, it's just on the goal line. 1 second left, they have to keep it in the air the whole time. And there's Violent Panda down and over the top of the front line of Ghosts. Gale Force with the sweep.
And Method.
It was Turbopolsa who has stepped up in game number 7, showing off why he is a world champion. And if it's going to remain like this, he's going to have his opportunity to make himself the 2-time world champion. Turbo puts it down to the upper end, and if this ball touches the floor, it is over. A lot gets it down. Here's Metanolis, but a big stage from Violent Panda. Nobody is back for Method. Gale Force have got themselves into our grand finals.
To you, what was the real difference maker?
I can tell you exactly what the difference maker is, but I want him to say what he did to make himself the difference maker. Turbopolsa is on the stage.
Well, guys, how about we let him feel warmth and comfort? Why don't we cheer for Turbopolsa and this amazing Gale Force roster? So, what was the conversation like mid-game going into Game 7? Did you guys still have that belief that you were going to win?
Absolutely, we always believe we're going to win.
Now you're in a situation where you're sitting in the grand finals and you have the opportunity to become the first ever 2-time RLCS champion. So you could be Turbo 2 rings here in a little bit. Do you think that that Gale Force has got this here?
I think so.
Method dropped down into the lower bracket, where they go up against none other than Cloud9.
The scoreline in game 3. Cloud9 unable to take it, but squishy now. Puts it through!
Method end up taking that series.
It's been a great run for Cloud9, but Method has shown their mettle, and they will face Gale Force in the grand final.
And it's a rematch of the upper bracket finals, Gale Force Esports versus Method. The last series they played in the upper bracket was close, with Gale Force edging out a 4-3 series win. But this time, it wasn't close. Gale Force could smell the trophy and wasn't going to let anything stand in their way.
Gale Force Esports and every single reward that reaps. Now 2 players caught by the side. Metano's got to get there. K-Dop wins!
They sweep Method in a best of 7, making that same Turbopolsa a former substitute, the first 2-time and back-to-back world champion.
Turbopolsa, the world's best substitute last season, this one, him, Violent Panda, and K-Dop have proven just how skilled they are, no matter how much they wavered throughout league play. They've brought it out here undefeated at Worlds.
2017 will go down as the year of Turbopolsa. They step up on the biggest stage. They do not drop a series. And look at them. They are so pleased with North America. Ladies and gentlemen, your world champions, Gale Force Esports.
We have to award an MVP. And I couldn't think of a better person to award an MVP to than Mr. Two-time champion, Turbopolsa. Congratulations, you're the MVP. Here's your medal. Turbo, this is your second championship, man. How do you feel?
I have no words, like, to be honest. I feel like K-Dop should have the MVP award, to be honest.
Well, you know what? You could do whatever it is you want to do with the MVP. If you want to give it to K-Dop, by all means, go ahead. Look at that. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. Hey, you know what? Everyone is an MVP. You're all champions.
Season 5, Gale Force dominate league play, going 6-1 and winning their regional championship yet again. Going into Worlds, they are definitely the favorites, the scariest team in everyone's eyes. But they have a new competitor, a team that may finally be able to take down Dignitas, NRG. In the upper bracket, Dignitas defeat the Australian team, Chiefs Esports Club.
They start something going, and it doesn't matter. Dignitas are there to ruin the fun, the party poopers. They don't want you to enjoy playing the game because they are here to win.
Where their next matchup puts them against that same NRG from across the pond. NRG beat Dignitas 3-1, and NRG looked like it wasn't that difficult for them.
K-Dop is not in position for that. Shot on target, NRG, 2 goals to nothing. Desperation from Team Dignitas as we count down to what seems like an inevitable victory for NRG, and at this point it is confirmed. North America will be represented in the upper bracket finals. But the question now remains, Carpet, who's joining them?
Possibly a new favorite for the rest of the championship. Dig dropped down into lowers, where they sweep Evil Geniuses.
Good hold, the kickoff, the slow kickoff won by Dignitas. Corrupted G demolished a momentary 2v3. And Turbo's gonna find it. The quick, clean, methodical play.
They sweep Cloud9.
They fought valiantly, but the defending world champions Dignitas were just too much for them.
We were wondering when K-Dop was gonna come alive. But everybody on this Dignitas team stepping up, and with only 4 seconds left, Team Dignitas is going to be moving to that lower final to really send a message to Complexity.
And into the semifinals, they run into Complexity, who are actually that Method team that they had swept in the grand finals of Season 4. They take them down 4-2.
And a second attempt, though, isn't there. But it seems like the time has run out as another block happens. Complexity, valiant to the end.
Turbo is now in his 3rd grand finals in a row, but this is no easy task. NRG are now the new favorite, taking down all of their competition with relative ease. And since Dignitas came from the lower bracket, they have to complete a bracket reset, which means they have to beat the team that dominated them earlier in a best of 7, twice. Series 1. Dignitas dominate NRG, taking the series 4-1.
We count down to a win for Team Dignitas. Remember, it is not over yet, but Turbopolsa almost putting yet another highlight.
It's looking like they have NRG on the ropes.
It is hit the floor.
Series 2, this is it. Dignitas look like they're poised to take the trophy for themselves, taking NRG head on. But NRG come roaring back. It leads to a Game 7, so Turbo does what Turbo does best. He own goals?
Turbopolsa, he's putting his own net!
Moving on.
A positional mistake on Turbopolsa, and he'll drop it in his own net.
Boost.
Panda ties the game, 1-1.
Pass off to Turbo! Saved! Follow up from Violent Panda!
Garrett G blasts the ball right underneath the crossbar.
Justin takes it by himself. He's probably got a second touch on him. Going the far side to Garrett! Outstanding!
No matter how much pressure this man is under, he will never miss That's a shot!
Energy are up 2-1 with just over 2 minutes remaining. Panda to Turbo.
But his first touch is straight to the body of Firebender. Panda lays it off to Turbo. Goal!
Turbo puts Dignitas up with 4 seconds remaining.
It's being held back now. Violent Panda puts it straight out. It's going to be over to Kadar. It's almost in. Follow. Scored!
All hope seems to be lost for Energy at this point. If you follow Rocket League, you know what happens next. But in case you don't, I'm going to let it play out.
All season long, it's had support from Turbo. And he won't let up now. 4 seconds left.
Energy need this immediately. They've got the kick off in their favor. Kadar tries to clear. It is almost there. It just has hit the floor. Violent Panda puts it a long way. And it's almost there. Justin keeps it alive. Turbopolsa there. Bounces
into the corner.
Energy still around. Justin is there for the shot.
Justin!
This is Rocket League!
All the wind taken out of Dignitas' sails.
They did it! The Rookie of the Year!
Ladies and gentlemen, my voice is gone, but my spirit is high. We have overtime.
Now we're going to overtime. Turbopolsa doesn't care. He can see it. He can feel it with ice in his veins in Game 7 overtime after a bracket reset and a miraculous 0-second goal. Turbo wins it for Dignitas.
Turbopolsa with it up high. Gets the flick. Turbo! Three-time world champion. Back-to-back world champions, Team Dignitas.
And what a story for Turbopolsa. 3 times in a row for him.
They are the team to beat. RLCS Season 6. You can forget about regional competition. It is no longer OCE versus EU versus NA. It is the world against that team right there, Team Dignitas.
We're going to get into our closing thoughts in just a second here, but guys, what an amazing
This was
moment,
magical.
Indescribable, and we just watched history there.
And they came together for this exact reason, to win world championships, and now they've done it twice.
Yeah, for the first time ever in Rocket League history, a team has repeated as world champion. Turbo, this is his 3rd time in a row. Can you believe 5 world championships? Turbopolsa has been on the winning team.
He's won more than half of them.
Yeah, this is dominant. But this series, honestly, I'm going to have to go back and watch this once I get home.
Making Dignitas back-to-back world champions, and Turbo the first 3-time, winning 3 RLCS in a row. Nobody doubts this team and Turbo's greatness in particular anymore. They are cemented as a dynasty. Now we move on to Season 6. Dignitas, fueled by their success and their Season 5 win, bully the entire EU region, going 7-0 in series wins and going 21-4 in game wins, setting the record for the best season in league play. Heading into Season 6 Worlds, the question wasn't who was going to win Season 6. The question was, is anybody close to be able to stack up against this team? Dignitas run through the upper bracket, straight into the grand finals, just like everyone expected. But what everyone didn't expect is that Dignitas run into a Cloud9, who had lost their very first series and had to make their way all the way through the lower bracket. An amazing story on its own, but a story for another time. A Cloud9 who are hungry, starving for the trophy. Cloud9 smash Dignitas, beating them in 2 best-of-7s, 4-1 each. It wasn't even close.
He does it! He hits it!
Cloud9, Gimmick can get a strong shot. Going for the double
Get
tap.
another.
Can he hit it? Bounces it by the defense. They're quick enough. Squishy has a chance. Going for the double tap himself. Bounces it in as well. Now Panda. Squishy. Going for the pass. That shot actually. He does it all himself. Squishy pounces to himself.
He gets
Flip
it.
reset. Can he do it? Squishy movements.
Dignitas got completely smashed.
You see disbelief on both sides. Cloud9 in disbelief that they just took Dignitas.
class act there.
This loss, and surely a culmination of other factors boiling up until this point, leads to some changes. K-Dop leaves the team. He goes to Vitality to reunite with his former teammate and his best friend, Fairy P, both of which were on that original Market squad that Turbo had beaten for his first championship. Dignitas are now in need of a third player. They pick up Yukio. The next tournament in line is DreamHack Leipzig. Dignitas look strong and make it to the grand finals. Who do they run into? K-Dot and Vitality, which they promptly take down 4-2.
And now, we still await a winner. Turbo shoots. It's gone in! And it turns out to be one. Huge misplay. That ends it all. With this 50 grand, they now pass K-Dot for the most earnings in Rocket League history. Dignitas are your Leipzig 2019 champions!
Surely now feeling confident heading into Season 7 of the RLCS, only their season didn't go quite how they would want, especially for a team known for such dominance. Dignitas go 3-4, getting 5th in league play. They lose to PSG in regionals and don't even make it to Season 7 Worlds. But this man is a winner. So what does he do? He moves to the United States to take the place of recently retired Fireburner to join NRG, the team whose hopes and dreams he had crushed back in Season 5. With a new fire lit underneath Turbo and this NRG squad, they dominate all of NA and become regional champions.
It's all over. NRG wins another one, 3 straight, back-to-back-to-back North American regional champs, and they will be the #1 seed representing North America in Madrid at the World Championships.
A familiar feeling for Turbopolsa, but now in 2 different regions. Turbo is back to the World Championship. NRG make their way through the South American team Low Key Esports.
NRG so strong, so confident, and like we talked about Turbo, the land factor. This could be a glimpse for the rest of the weekend right now.
This looks like the NRG we saw all season, but it is NRG. They will pick up the win against Low Key Esports and cool the Jets on South America.
Then they run into none other than Vitality, who they take in Game 5.
10 seconds left. The ball's lofted high. Vitality thinks about it, but Garrett G's out of the net now and firing. Scrub killer with the long play down the field. Turbopolsa reaches and blocks K-Dot. It's going to be up to Fairy P. Can he keep it in the air? It's towards the goal, just into the corner. Turbopolsa's got it up once more. Garrett G's got it away. Nobody stays in the net for NRG. They're just trying to get out and kill the ball. Garrett G over the top of 2. Scrub killer can get it to the wall here. But that'll be it. Oh my goodness. It's still alive. They get one more. Fairy Peak's got it for it. This is going to be a long one for Vitality if they get it out of this corner. But they're following each other. Oh, there it goes. They tried their best, but NRG.
They're against Space Station, who they quite frankly just knock out of the way.
It's possible. Ticking down. And for NRG, 5 seconds. Back to glory. Back to a grand final. And NRG are gonna go back one more time. Turbopolsa. This is what he came on to do. And they've gotten there again in Season 8.
Now in the grand finals, it's NRG versus Vitality. Turbopolsa versus K-Dot. Oh yeah, should I mention who won Season 7 of RLCS? Yeah, it was K-Dot and Vitality. Turbo is no longer the only 3-time world champion. Of course, he wanted to win Season 8 already, but what could make it sweeter than facing off against his previous teammate yet again for the battle of the 3-time world champs? Who would be the first 4-time? It goes all the way to Game 7, and NRG take down Vitality, making Turbopolsa the first 4-time world champion, and getting MVP while doing it.
NRG do what they could not do before. Justin, his 0-second goal kept their hopes alive in London, and now an overtime goal fulfilled their dreams of a world championship. Turbo ripped the trophy from Justin and Garrett's hands in London, and now in Madrid, they lift it together.
For so many of you at home, this has felt like a long time coming. But for this team, it's felt even longer. Your winners, NRG!
times, yeah? How many is enough?
I won this 4 times, it's never enough for me.
And now it's about time to announce the MVP of Season 8. Turbopolsa, the 4th time! Now, Turbo, one last word from you. What have been the highlights from this weekend?
Winning, obviously. I mean, just playing with these guys is the best thing that's ever happened to my Rocket League career, so feels good.
While not the most popular among the semi-casual RLCS fan base, ask any player, any true fan of Rocket League and the RLCS who the greatest of all time is. They'll tell you, it's that little Swedish boy.
Good things come to those who wait. And boy, he's been forced to wait.